Play La Bamba, Oil Country. The Edmonton Oilers with a terrific third period comeback tonight against the Vegas Golden Knights to take game one of their second round series against the Golden Knights. They now lead 1-0. The Oilers win 4-2, and it wasn't looking good early in this game. Nugent Hopkins took an early double minor for high sticking. There was no initial call, but the linesman skates up to the refs, and he's like, hey, listen, Mr. Referees, I think I saw a stick hit someone in the face. That ended up being Tomas Hertl, and there definitely was a cut. It was definitely a 4-minute penalty. Nugent Hopkins, he paid for that as Vegas made it 1-0. And then Vegas makes it 2-0. Not too long after that, it was Mark Stone just walks into he just has a clear lane into the high slot. Draisaitl with the offensive zone giveaway. But after that, after Vegas made it 2-0, just like what we saw against the LA Kings when the Oilers got down, they basically took this whole game over. A lot of fans in the live stream tonight, which, by the way, if you tuned in, thank you so much. And if you have not tuned into a live stream and you want to see me do a live stream commentary during playoff games, make sure to like today's video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel as we provide daily Oilers content here on the Austin Hockey YouTube channel. Anyways, I am ranting. Draisaitl with the offensive zone giveaway. Stone scores. But after that giveaway, after Vegas makes it 2-0, the Oilers decided, we actually do know how to play hockey. We know how to defend. And Calvin Pickard went, hey guys, don't worry. Yes, I give up goals in the first period, but I'll lock things down. We'll do the Grant Fuhr. I'm not going to let that next one in because I know my team needs me. And Calvin Pickard, yes, he wasn't tested in the second period. The Oilers only gave up one shot in period 2. And then in period 3, he faced 6 shots. But after 40 minutes, in the second and third period combined, Calvin Pickard faced 4 shots against at 5-on-5. Four shots against at 5-on-5 in 40 minutes of playtime. The Edmonton Oilers played basically perfect defensive hockey. They sheltered Calvin Pickard, and when Vegas had that third period power play, which I did not agree with the call, Connor Brown was definitely pushed into Adin Hill. However, on the live stream tonight, I know people are going to ask me, was that a bad call? Was Vegas getting the benefit of the doubt there? Because a lot of people think Vegas, they get the calls from the league's officiating. I understand the reasoning behind the call. Last night, Sam Bennett hit Anthony Stolarz in the head. There was no penalty on the play, no supplemental discipline. And I guarantee you, NHL officials have been given a memo from the league to watch out for goalie contact. I think they're going to have to do a good job at protecting goaltenders moving forward. Now, Connor Brown, he cut into the middle of the ice in that third period, and he did get a backhand that went wide, and then he got hit into Adin Hill. But from the ref's perspective, it definitely looked like Connor Brown may have went in there on his own. Just from the angle of the official, I'm just playing devil's advocate. Do I agree with the call? Absolutely not. I think it was a bad call. It could have swung momentum in the game, but luckily for us, Calvin Pickard was there to save the day. Mark Stone had the puck behind the Oilers' net, centers it out in front to Hertl, who had a point-blank look, and Calvin Pickard shut the 5-hole. He shut the door, and it allowed the Oilers to go in on transition after that kill. Late in the third period, Zach Hyman with an absolute snipe up over Adin Hill's glove. I know a lot of fans, I was reading a lot of tweets after the second period, a lot of fans on Twitter being like, can we stop shooting on Adin Hill's glove? Well, Adin Hill was beat twice on the glove side in that third period. Zach Hyman with 3 minutes remaining, an absolute snipe. May have went off of Noah Hannafin's leg, not quite sure. And then Connor Brown with just an unbelievable breakaway goal. He beats Adin Hill on the glove side as well. That basically put the game out of reach. What a goal by Connor Brown. And can we just say, Connor Brown, this guy's like goated, right? He's goated with the sauce. Is that what the kids say these days? The Gen Z, Gen Alpha slang. I'm old. I don't know what the kids are saying these days. It was a terrific effort from Edmonton. We're going to go over the Edge visualizer for a couple of the goals, and then I'm going to answer some questions and comments from you, the fans at home, from the Discord, and of course on Twitter at ahockey1993. And then we're going to wrap things up. Yes, I got the victory chain, the blue victory chain, of course. This is from the Game 4 against LA when I was at Rogers Place Live for that one. Picked this thing up because I forgot my own victory chain at home, which is hanging behind me there, that gold one. And then I have a red one or an orange one also hanging up. You can't see it out of view right now, but I do have 3 victory chains. This is this year's playoff victory chain, bringing the good luck, of course. And let's take a look at the Edge Visualizer for your Edmonton Oilers. The first goal, Corey Perry. What can we say about the worm that we haven't already said? The ageless wonder. Draisaitl picks up the pass. He brings it into the zone, sends it across to Connor McDavid. And I'm just going to pause it here. Corey Perry, maybe the slowest player in the entire NHL. Maybe the guy with the slowest foot speed in the entire league. But you know what Corey Perry does that a lot of other players don't? He knows where to be. He is possibly the smartest player on the Edmonton Oilers. His hockey IQ is over 9,000. The only player that may have a higher hockey IQ than Corey Perry is Connor McDavid, and that's just because McDavid is literally not even human. Corey Perry, though, he always finds himself in scoring areas, and I thought he had a terrific game tonight for your Edmonton Oilers. He gets himself free in front, and what a play, too. He could have one-timed it. Most players would have one-timed it, but he knows Adin Hill has to come across. He's going to read that one-timer. He stops up, and then he goes to his forehand, and silky smooth hands, as always, for Corey Perry. That made it a one-goal game. Now, the second period had no goal scoring at all, but the Oilers dominated. Look at the shots in the second period. 12-1 in favor of the Oilers. Edmonton also had 2 power plays. They did not convert on either of them. They're going to have to get that power play going. It looked a little discombobulated in different points, but the Oilers, of course, they gave up 1 power play goal against. They killed the one in the third period that mattered the most. Leon Draisaitl early in the third period, he banks a shot off of Adin Hill's pad. Connor McDavid brings it into the zone. He stops up. He plays it to Bouchard with the one-timer. It goes off of Adin Hill, couple deflections, bounces over the net, and then Draisaitl, just a reaction. He sends it into the blue paint off of Adin Hill's pad and in. And hey, sometimes you got to be lucky to be good and good to be lucky. This top line for Edmonton, they were generating looks all night. Adin Hill was a wall in net for Vegas. Vegas fans, you got to be pretty impressed with Adin Hill, right? Like, this game is not on him. If you're a Vegas Golden Knights fan, I think a lot of fans right now are probably disappointed in how the team in front of Adin Hill played. But in terms of how this series goes, Adin Hill can be a difference maker for them. He almost stole this one for the Golden Knights. Yes, Vegas had a great first period, but it was all Edmonton after the first. And then, of course, Zach Hyman, with only 3 minutes remaining in the third period, Nugent Hopkins picks up the pass. He sends it across to Klingberg. And by the way, John Klingberg, holy smokes, continues to be an absolute monster for Edmonton. Can you guys believe this? Yes, he did fall at one point in the second period. It looked pretty goofy, but Klingberg, he has played great. Klingberg sends the puck up the middle. What a pass under pressure. He finds Nugent Hopkins, enters the zone. Evander Kane. Now, a lot of players here. And maybe Evander Kane even in the past, probably would have put this towards the net or tried to give it back to Nugent Hopkins. But Evander Kane, he reads the play well, sends it across to the ice to Zach Hyman. And Vegas's defenders, Nugent Hopkins, he's cutting the middle. They got to make sure they're watching him. Zach Hyman, he has Nurse as an option, but Hyman goes, you know what, guys? I'm just going to take this myself. I'm just going to rip this over the glove of Adin Hill to go up 3-2. Game winner for Zach Hyman. You love to see that. Hyman has been all over it when it comes to the physicality side of the game. His offense hasn't been where I think a lot of fans want it, but he does have 3 goals. Kane and Nugent Hopkins with the assists. The depth for Edmonton showing up once again. Corey Perry a goal, Zach Hyman a goal, Evander Kane an assist, and then, of course, Connor Brown with his 4th goal of the postseason. And Vegas, they were pressing here. They hadn't even pulled the goaltender yet. Puck was blocked in front by Bouchard, and then Connor Brown grabs it with his glove. Now, Shea Theodore, Vegas fans might be mad at Theodore, but he was on the ice for quite a while as Vegas was pressing to try and tie it up. Connor Brown, what a move to go to his forehand. He beats Theodore, and then he goes glove side on Adin Hill, and the Oilers have 1,500 players on the ice. No worries, though. It was behind the play. The refs didn't see it. Connor Brown makes it 4-2. That sealed the deal for Edmonton. It was an unbelievable effort for the Oilers. I thought that first period went about as bad as it could, but the last 40 minutes, the Edmonton Oilers showed why they belong here. They showed why the LA Kings had such a tough time handling Edmonton's forecheck, handling the neutral zone, handling the cycle, and Edmonton in that second period probably deserved a little bit better. Vegas entered the third period with a lead, but you can only play with fire so long before you get burned, and the Edmonton Oilers were finally able to break through and find a way to score a couple goals. In fact, they scored 3 unanswered. Vegas is going to be very, 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 very mad. Very mad heading into game 2. It is going to be very tough for Edmonton in game 2, but they got at least one win in Vegas. I talked about it in the pregame report today. You got to get the split, win game 1, but at minimum, you need the split in Vegas before you go home. If Edmonton can find a way, there's a long road ahead, but if they can find a way to steal 2 from Vegas and absolutely steal home ice for the rest of the series, we're in good position here as Oil fans, right? Oil country, we are having a blast tonight. Vegas fans, of course, good game, GGs. I will send you the virtual handshakes. We had a lot of fans tune in tonight in the live stream, a lot of Vegas fans, real good sports. Thank you so much for being great as always. And fans of other teams too. We had fans of teams that don't cheer for Edmonton or Vegas, so thank you for tuning in. We are absolutely going to answer a few fan questions now from the viewers here. I'm going to answer a couple on Twitter or X.com, and then I'll answer a couple from the Discord server that we have, and then we're going to wrap things up. So if you're still watching at this point in the video, smash that like button. If you're listening on a podcast platform, of course, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Definitely YouTube is where all of the content is, and if you want to see my ugly mug, this is the place to be. So let's take a look at what the fans have to say after this game. One for One podcast. By the way, if you do not follow the One for One podcast, great content. Absolutely give them a follow, give them a listen. They create amazing Oilers content, highly underrated in the Oilers sphere here when it comes to content creation. One for One podcast says Connor Brown is a hair icon and must be signed to a lifetime contract. You know what? One for One podcast, I agree with that. And maybe I'll buy the Connor Brown jersey, even if he doesn't get a hat trick. If he, maybe he'll, you know what? I'm not even going to say anything. Connor Brown, though, he has stepped up. He has had a phenomenal first 7 games of his playoffs this season. 4 goals. You love to see it. Thank you, One for One podcast, for that. Steven says he won't be credited with points, but Klingberg's passes set up 2 of Edmonton's goals tonight. Yes, they did. The Edge Visualizer showed a couple of those breakouts that he made, those plays to get it out of trouble. Find pucks into the middle of the ice. Find guys streaking through the neutral zone. John Klingberg has been an unsung hero for Edmonton. And for all the discourse surrounding his play in the regular season, he has stepped up when it matters most. This is absolutely possibly going to go down as the most underrated signing for Stan Bowman. It looked pretty poor in the regular season, but the playoffs is what matters most for a lot of us fans. It's what matters the most for management. And if he continues to play at the level that he has, Stan Bowman and the Edmonton Oilers management, they have to be given a ton of credit. And of course, John Klingberg has to be given credit too. Coming back from double hip surgery and to play the way that he has, it's unbelievable. He has been a phenomenal story. I am so happy for John Klingberg. I hope he can keep this up. I hope he stays healthy as well. Tyler says, very hard fought. Thought we controlled majority of the game. Slow start, fantastic second, and amazing finish. Do you consider giving Stu game 2? Absolutely not. No, I'm not even considering it. Calvin Pickard absolutely stays in this crease. Ride picks till death. FYI, that's a 5-game win streak in the playoffs. Absolutely it is. Nope. This is Calvin Pickard's crease. Even if Pickard loses the next game, even if he gives up 8 goals in game 2, you keep riding him. Sorry, Stu lost his job. The Oilers, they played confidently in front of Pickard, and this is his crease. He's earned it. He deserves to keep getting the starts, in my opinion. Zach says the next time Stu Skinner plays is next year, ? He may play next year, and it may not even be in an Oilers uniform. Trent says, good win. I love when the Oilers do this, hoping for a Brown Hattie. Game 2 will be fun. Absolutely. Of course, that is a reference to Connor Brown getting a hat trick, which means I will have to buy his jersey all season long since the Oilers played Vancouver in November. I have been saying if Connor Brown ever gets a hat trick, I will buy his jersey and I will prove to everyone that I will do it. I am a man of my word. That is the meme that has been running all season long, but I love Connor Brown so much, I may get his jersey anyways, Oil Country, if they re-sign him this summer, maybe. Erica says physics. That's all I have to say, physics. Now, Erica is a longtime viewer of the channel. In the 4 wins against the LA Kings, physics is a reference to her homework. When she works on physics homework, the Oilers win. After 2 periods, she hadn't worked on her homework, and the chat and I were giving her heck. We were like, you got to get your homework done. And of course, everyone viewing right now, if you have homework, if you're in university or high school or even middle school, if you have homework, get your schoolwork done. Super important, right? Listen, don't be like me. I skipped out on a lot of homework, and that's why I'm in front of a camera now and maybe not doing something incredible as a career, though I can't complain. Being in front of a camera is obviously very fun. Erica started working on her homework, and the Oilers came back and won. That is good vibes, good juju, right? Everyone at home, all you kids at home, as Don Cherry would say, all you kids, get your homework done. Big thumbs up. Thank you, Erica, for the good luck. And then Ocelot says the boys were rolling, and yes, they were. Now for some of the Discord questions, only a couple here. Jonathan asks, so who had Edmonton winning game 1 on their bingo cards tonight? Also, Connor Brown is the GOAT. Obviously, in the pregame report, I picked Edmonton to win 5-4. They won 4-2. You'll love to see that. Thank you, Jonathan. Gold says, who would your 3 stars of the night be, Austin? My 3 stars, personally, of the night. I would probably go 3rd star. Let's go Connor McDavid. 2nd star will go... you know what? I liked Evander Kane's game a lot. He assisted on the game winner for Zach Hyman. So we'll go Evander Kane 2nd star. I thought he played pretty well. And then 1st star, you know what? Unsung hero. You could go John Klingberg, maybe Connor Brown as well. That's kind of who I'm thinking of for the 3 stars. Of course, Draisaitl could have been named a star. Corey Perry could have been a star. Calvin Pickard could have been a star. A lot of good players showed up tonight for Edmonton, but that is kind of who I would pick as the 3 stars. In his post-game interview, Corey Perry said his goal was easy for him. The worm never stops being elite. Yeah, of course he says it's easy for him. He makes anything hard look easy. We love Corey Perry. And then Russian Egg says, Perry just being Perry. Absolutely. Listen, folks, we're going to wrap things up here for the post-game fan reaction. Thank you so much for tuning in. Had an absolute blast tonight. Very happy that the Oilers got the win. There's still a long road ahead, right? Long road ahead here. Vegas is not going to be any easier to come up against. They still have game 2 at home, and Edmonton is going to have their work cut out for them. You know, Bruce Cassidy, he's going to make some tactical adjustments. We'll see what they are. Tomorrow in the day after discussion, I will be going over Edmonton's tactics. I'll be going over some of the advanced stats from Natural Stat Trick and Money Puck. I'll also be going over some of the moments in the game that I thought kind of changed momentum. And then we'll be discussing all things Oilers, of course, moving forward in the series. If you want to see that, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you turn the bell on so that you're notified of all uploads and live streams. Your support means the world. The playoffs, they're just getting started, folks. The first round was incredible. The second round is already off to an amazing start, especially for your Oilers. If you're an Oilers fan tuning in, Vegas fans, good game. Can't wait to see you for game 2. But first, we will have the day after discussion tomorrow. Before you head to bed tonight, or depending when you're watching this video, could be the next day. Maybe you're watching this tomorrow morning, which would be May 7th. I hope you have a wonderful day tonight. I hope you have a wonderful night. Make sure you tell someone that you love them. And as always, fight like a kid, fight like Ben. Let's go Oilers. We'll see you in the day after discussion. Thank you so much, Oil Country, sending all the love and positivity out there in the world. You're all amazing. We'll see you soon. Take care.